morning, world. Welcome to the Rise Up with Dragon podcast with your host, Dragon.
Great morning, world. As a matter of fact, we are in the process of getting hats made that say great morning on it. We're just not happy with the design yet. So great morning, everyone. Dragon coming at you. Obviously, you guys know that I'm into some fun shirts. So the people on Clubhouse can't see this. But if you want to watch this live streamed right now, it's on YouTube, Rise Up with Dragon, Facebook, and everything. But this is one of my favorites. I get these shirts from my fans. So this one says, education is important, but skiing is importanter. And Chicken's laughing in the background. You like that one, don't you, Chicken?
That's my favorite.
So great morning, everyone. Welcome to the Rise Up with Dragon show / podcast. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, on all the different channels. As we've said before, we've moved to a new Rise Up with Dragon page. That's going to give us a lot more capabilities of interacting. And right now, we're open for those of you in Clubhouse, sponsored by the Make Sense Club. So we see some people filing in, some familiar faces. What's up to everybody in the Clubhouse? Because right after this, our guest doesn't have an iPhone. So, that doesn't make her any less cool than anybody else. It just means she's on the waiting list. And believe me, Clubhouse is very strategic with that. I remember when my kids, I'm going to date myself, but I remember when my kids wanted Nintendo, or when I wanted Atari, or any of these PlayStation games for that matter, they always say that they don't have enough or things like that, and they put restrictions, which, as you know, when they open up the floodgates, everybody rushes to it. So great morning, worlds. Couple of little dragon bites, which I've just made up. As you know, I'm always sitting here across from my beloved Chicken. And as you know, this show and all shows are sponsored by Karma Mind. It would be nice, actually, when you hear our guest Elvira, she has a cool gong that she'll bless the stage with, and we'll have to incorporate that sound. But Karma Mind is one of the fastest growing meditation podcasts. You can find it on iTunes and other channels, but it's a meditation podcast rooted in Buddha's beautiful teachings. If you want to bypass your analytical mind, harmonize your heart and your mind, or just for that matter, go to sleep with a smile, check out Karma Mind. And also, we have another sponsor today. And Chicken and I have decided, we're always a little bit skeptical about who we let sponsor the Rise Up with Dragon podcast, but we've taken on a new sponsor. So let me read this. I don't want to get it wrong. So today's background construction noise that you may hear is sponsored by VD Construction and BLT. Live, work, play. Enjoy your podcast with all the noise, fuckers. Did I do it right? Okay, good. So yeah, we have this amazing podcast studio, not below the line right now, but we have this awesome studio. We've soundproofed it and everything, but very often this construction truck that I think is mixing cement just parks itself right outside. So you might hear the beep beep of the reverse or the construction sounds. So thank you, BLT.
Well, we're
and
working on
VD.
the studio and getting the soundproof.
Yeah. Actually, she's lying. We're not working on
We're
anything.
lazy.
She just said that to make us sound cool. So very exciting. We've got a guest here today. And a lot of fun guests coming into the Rise Up with Dragon show. In fact, projecting, we've got the amazing Aaron Golub. He's on the books. The first ever blind Division I football player who actually is an NFL prospect as well. Unbelievable story. Go check out Aaron Golub. But also, I'm reading the book right now, Indistractable, and this is a national bestseller by Nir Ayal, and he also wrote a book called Hooked. We're pretty close to having Nir booked on one of the shows. Just touched base with the amazing Tim Story, who's agreed to come on the show, and obviously one of my favorites, longtime friend, best-selling author of Limitless, the amazing Jim Quick. So we got a lot of fun guests coming. You know, those blue check guests that are influential people. But every now and then, I just kind of like organically meet people. And the key word I think that's going to come out in this podcast is alignment. What's interesting about alignment is sometimes it just happens organically. Sometimes we seek alignment. I seek to be in alignment, and I seek to align with others, but sometimes it doesn't come from where I'm seeking. It comes from the side. So our guest today is really, really cool, and we are definitely in alignment. So I'm going to do my best to give her a beautiful introduction, because that's one of the things I take a lot of pride in, because not only are we in alignment, but she's super cool. So Elvira HOPPER is... she represents this amazing system called the Love Your Vibe transformation. What I love about her, and you're going to hear her story, she claims to have gone from being a crap magnet to a miracle magnet, which is what she does for others too. So growing up in an environment where she was programmed, you hear me how much I talk about programmed. We're programmed by our programmers. Well, she grew up in an environment where she was programmed to shy away from her creativity and her voice and her song inside of her and her dance inside of her and her dreams, and then fall into the lines of conformity. How many people do you know like that? You're going to love her and her story. So led to an almost, so as a result of that led to an almost 30-year stint of a career that she labeled, and I love this, if you read on her website, she labeled her career as being a rock star imposter. I love that idea. Just think about like being a rock star, but being a little bit full of shit at the same time, because you're not following your dreams. So like many of you, right, she reached her breaking point, received a divine intervention and a divine message. I always tell you on the Rise Up with Dragon show, when I do my journal entries and my rise ups, I don't know where they come from. So I always kind of feel like I'm an antenna receiving things from the universe, and I'm just hooking you up with them. I'm just like saying, okay, thank you. Here, let's see if they like it. Let's see if they eat it. So she got that divine message of purpose, which gave birth to the Love Your Vibe transformation system, which she coaches and is now, this is really interesting, one of the things that I love, and I hope it comes out, she's actually now duplicating this on a massive mission base all over the place, providing opportunities for others to become and to work with her and partner with her as what she calls light workers. Write that down. Imagine if you were like, hello, my name is Dragon, and somebody says, what do you do? And they said, I'm a light worker. That's pretty cool. Oh, and I forgot one thing. In the process of her basically saying, screw it, I'm just going to do it, she also decided to become a world-class jazz singer, performing with all of the greats. So her favorite word, she uses it all the time, is alignment, which she provides in her services for others. And it's what I've found that I love about her, and it's one thing that we share in common. So I hope I did a great job. I'm going to bring her on right now. So I would love to introduce you, and I'm honored that she's on this show because of the organic nature that we came together. The amazing Elvira. She made sure that she spells it with an I, but she says E-E, Elvira HOPPER. Hi, sweetie. Welcome to the Rise of the Dragon show. You like it?
Hi, Dragon. How are you? You are on fire. You are on fire. Oh my God, what an introduction. I've never been introduced like that before. So slight correction. I'm not on stage with jazz greats. I'm on world-class jazz stages. I created my first live album on a world-class jazz stage, but I have performed with
a world-class jazz stage.
Well, in Toronto, where I live just outside Toronto, home of the Raptors, woohoo. And I don't know how good they're doing right now, though. I probably shouldn't say that. Anyways, yes, in Toronto, we have a great place called the Jazz Bistro. So I actually recorded my first live album there. So I'm not dying with my real music still in me, which is unfortunately what a few dear people in my life did. And this is why I'm on a mission to help, especially men, not die with their real music, like my dad did. and my first love. So that, I don't know if that's going to come out in the story or not, but
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will.
but you're amazing. And I listened to Chicken last night. Oh my God. Her meditations are so beautiful. Guys, check them out.
You got a smiling chicken right now. Right now Chicken saying,
I love chicken.
What did she
I
say?
love chicken.
So Elvira, we had such a cool conversation yesterday, and
We did.
it was one of those conversations that we need like hours to have. And it was cut a little bit short, but man, when you get to know somebody, that's one of the things I love about podcasts and interviews. Is it's my way of becoming friends with somebody and really getting to know somebody. And you have such a cool story. So one of the things that I like to do for my listeners, because we can spend time explaining what it is that you do and what it is you do for others and your mission. And we'll do that at the end. But what people really want to know, because a lot of people have all this disruption, like for instance, if we say, hey, don't die with your song in you, do this. People will say, okay, I get it, but how do you accomplish that? So let's go back a little bit and review some of the things that I said in the introduction about, one of the things that you really, really resonate with me on is this thing that happened to you at 11 years old. So let's talk about that, because they're going to vibe with that, and take me through that stint of the rock star imposter days and how you came to this enlightened stage where you found this love your vibe transformation.
Thank you, Dragon. Yeah. So this part of my story could be called the making of a crap magnet or the making of an imposter. So here's what happened. I'm 11 years old and I'm in a cabaret show. So, which was absolutely cool because your grandfather invented cabaret. So when you told me that yesterday, I kind of flipped out. But anyway, so we talked about this yesterday. I'll share it with your viewers and listeners. I'm 11 years old. I'm in a cabaret show. Not in it. I'm watching it. I'm the only kid in the audience. My dad worked downstairs in the restaurant. This is a cabaret going on upstairs. And because my whole life, my mom said, you came out of the womb singing and dancing. Okay. That's just who I was. I was an entertainer. My happiest moments, I remember as a little kid, were just performing in front of the family and seeing their big smiles. Like that was my joy zone. Right. So I've loved singing and dancing, my whole life. Here I am, 11 years old. I'm this fat little Italian kid in the audience. Okay. So we came to Canada when I was 5 from Italy. And there was a lot of unhappiness because of this transportation, I don't even know the right word. Anyways, we immigrated to Canada and there's not a lot of, joy, and I ate my emotions. So I'm this fat little Italian kid sitting in the audience and I'm looking at these women up on the stage and they're beautiful and they're singing and they're dancing and they're gorgeous. And I am so connected to these women. I felt like I was one of them. Okay. Little 11-year-old, just like totally fantasizing. And anyways, after the show was over, my dad brought me backstage because he knew them. They worked upstairs. So they're like, Joe, this is your daughter? She's so beautiful. And I'm looking up at these women and I'm like, I'm beautiful. I'm a fat little Italian kid. You're beautiful. And I fell in love with them even more. So
can I have a sound effect?
Sure.
That happens. Let me see if this works.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So anyways, Dragon, it was wild because I'm looking at these women and I felt seen for the first time. Have you ever felt seen by someone? Like they really saw you for who you were. I've never felt seen like that, unless I was, singing in front of an uncle or aunt that had a big, huge smile and they knew that, hey, she's an entertainer, right? And they saw me. Anyway, so afterwards, we walk away from these beautiful women and I had stars in my eyes. And I look up at my dad and I say, Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up. And do you know what my dad said? Elvira, you can't be one of them because those women are sluts. And that was it. I was shut down. No longer allowed to be me. And in my little 11-year-old head, I said, okay, I can't be me. Who do you need me to be so you will love me? And that is when the people pleasing started. That is when the imposterhood started. That is when I chose not one, but 2 careers in healthcare to make my parents proud and happy and not worry about me. Because you see, in my dad's family, his upbringing, the stories that were programmed in his head, I love how you talk about programming. The ones that were programmed in his head were basically good men are good providers and fathers and husbands. They're not entertainers. My father could sing like Pavarotti. His cousin was a world-class Neapolitan singer. His name was Mario Abate. If you ever look him up, that was my uncle. And his story that he was given, I don't know what happened in the family. So Mario must have brought some shame on the family or something, because my father wasn't allowed to be the singer like my uncle. I think my dad could sing better like him, actually, better than him.
Isn't it interesting how, you know, it's forgiveness is a big thing. And what I'm feeling right now, because when the listeners heard your dad say that to you about the dancers, their initial knee-jerk reaction was that, why did he do that? But because we didn't just respond to that, and we're hearing now that he had some things happen to him like that, makes some sense, and I'm able to forgive him. You know, it's and I'm sure you went through that as well, because when you look back, you could blame your dad for that, or you could say,
I don't.
"Oh, I understand why he did it."
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I understand now, obviously, as an adult. But here's the thing that's interesting. I wasn't meant to get my Broadway or Hollywood dream as a child. Like, if my dad had said in that moment, great, you want to be one of them, we'll get you into acting classes and singing classes and dancing classes. He could have said that, but that wasn't meant to be my story. My story was one of having lived out of alignment for so many years and showing others that it's never too late. I am the poster child for it's never too late to live the life of your dreams, not your parents' dreams, not society's dreams, your dreams. And that's what I did at 51.
Let me ask you a question on that.
Sure.
Super cool, because what you just said is that your mission that you have now requires that you lived out of alignment. Think about that for a second.
Yes.
Had you not lived out of alignment? See, I always say everybody seeks the light. Everybody seeks the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but it doesn't exist. Light doesn't exist without dark. So what I love about her story is it further validates this idea of when things happen perceptually to us that throw us out of alignment or below the line of responsibility, we're naturally taught that it's bad. But what Elvira is saying right now is, thank God for it, because it spawned this thing that's helping so many people. So what we need to do is your father still with us?
No, he's been gone 8 years, and I think he's smiling from heaven.
So let's look up and say, thank you, Papa.
Yes.
For everything.
Thank you, Papa.
Thank you, Grandpapa, for fucking him up, because if not, none of this would be happening.
Exactly. Because you see, if it works for a former crap magnet like me, it can work for anyone. And what happened is, because we both lived out of alignment, my dad and I, we both struggled with mental health issues. We both got bullied as adults. We both gave away our power because we were kind, heart-centered people. That's what a lot of artists are, right? And yet today, I'm a light worker, helping others find their light, because I was in the dark and found the light. Therefore, I can say, follow me. I know the way. In fact, I know a shortcut. And I'm teaching this system to beautiful light workers around the world who also want to use it to help others. And I love that you identify with the word light worker now, because JC, you've been in the dark and now you're in the light. And I love your story. I got to hear it yesterday. So if you guys haven't heard his story yet, you got to check it out. But
they've heard my story.
Okay. I'm new to your podcast, but yes.
I want to get into the new realm of where you're at and what you do. But before, this is crucial, because right now everybody's kind of getting attached and they're saying it makes sense why she's so passionate about helping others. But let's go back to that moment when you were the rock star imposter, because I think a lot of people now are saying, I'm a rock star imposter. Or, you know, like one of my favorite, because I think a lot of people are recognizing, very good at hiding the fact that they're living a mediocre life. Yeah. My favorite quote is, if you continue to lick the lollipop of mediocrity, you will suck forever. Nobody wants to suck forever.
I love that.
So explain to the listeners, you did a great job of this yesterday, what happened when you met your friend that was all of a sudden extraordinarily happy and you were not, and how this message came.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. Okay. So remind me to talk about my first love, who was also an imposter,
You can
incredible
start
world-class musician. Yeah, yeah.
there.
So that part's important. So what happened when excuse me. So I'm sorry, and I distracted myself there. You wanted me to tell which part again,
Okay,
JC?
so first of all,
Yeah.
you can pick either one. You can talk about the first love,
Mm-hmm.
but what I want to pull out, and I'll remind you if you go off,
Yeah.
you explain, and this is what a lot of people will resonate with, because right now you're in the light, right?
Yeah.
And everybody
Yeah.
wants to be in the light, and they just can't find their way there. So the idea of being a light worker is super cool.
Yes. Yes.
It's a guide of sorts. But you told me a story about a friend of yours
Yes. Yes.
you
That's right.
noticed was like in the light, and you said, "Hey," and this is where this kind of fierce urgency of now
The
to
inspiration. Yes, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah. So basically, when I was a pharmaceutical rep, my just before my blessed breakdown, so I had 2 years of depression, anxiety, panic disorder, being bullied as an adult. My last 2 years of corporate were basically that. I was in a holding pattern. I was in survival mode, and that was like essentially at my rock bottom. I said, I can't live like this anymore. Give me a way out that's not drugs, that's not therapy. No disrespect to anybody that's using those modalities. They weren't options for me. I asked for another way. And that's when I was divinely downloaded with the Love Your Vibe miracle mindset. So 2 years before that, so I was basically bullied for 2 years, and I went into a dark place. Corporately and socially, I was being bullied. But 2 years before that, I'd gone to a party, and my friend who I used to job share with at my last pharma company, she had left the industry to become a life coach. I didn't even know there was such a profession called a life coach. I went to her house, a bunch of ladies having martinis. I'm looking at my friend who I haven't seen for a year. And I said, "Oh my God, you look amazing. What have you done?" This woman and I used to be the same. We were these aggressive pharmaceutical reps, getting the numbers so we can win the trip. It was all about go, go, go and numbers, numbers, numbers. And we were basically men, and I remember she looked different when I knew her back then. Her face was square, and she had like a furrow in her eyes, or in her between her eyes. And all of a sudden now, I haven't seen her for a year. She looks glorious. She looks like a goddess. I'm like, "Angela, what have you done?" And she said, "Oh, Elvira, in the past year, I've become a life coach." And I'm like, "What the hell's a life coach?" And she said, "Well, I help people go from where they are to where they want to be and blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "You can get paid for that?" Like, I could not believe that that was actually a profession, because I'm a kind-hearted person. I've been helping people my whole life. To think I could get paid for that was like kind of a miracle. So here's what I said
wait.
that night.
I got another sound effect for you.
Sure. Okay. I love that. Oh my God, JC, you're the best. So basically right after she told me what she did, I said it in my head. I put it out to the universe. I said, "I don't know what the hell Angela did, but one day I'm doing it too." And that was it. I dropped it. That same night, I got a prediction from a woman who was psychic.
So you didn't even know what you were going to do.
No,
You
I
knew
just saw how
you could do it.
happy she was. And I knew I could do it too, because when she told me what she did and I saw the alignment in her, there's that beautiful word, alignment. And I just said, I want some of that, because I was living so out of alignment. I looked like a rock star. I was the highest paid rep in the company. I was the most coddled. I was had the biggest car. Like my ego was like massive. Okay. I was run by my ego. And that's what happens, guys. When we are not living in alignment, we are run by our ego, and our ego takes over, and we need to constantly have approval from others and things and opportunities so that we can validate our existence. That's what happens when we live out of alignment, right? So I'm here to say that I had to go through all of that to transform, to show others how to do it as well. Because if I could do it with my mental health, genes, I think I shared my dad had a mental breakdown when he was bullied in his 50s, and he could never come back. And he had to go on meds for the rest of his life. My dad died with depression, anxiety, panic disorder, on meds to sleep at night. And his liver was huge, and he had cancer. So he's just an example of what can happen to a man when he lives out of alignment. Well, it can happen to any of us, but it happened to him. I got to witness that. And I was an example of, okay, we're going to break that pattern in our family heritage. I'm going to have the courage to go for my dreams. My kiddo is going to have the courage to go for his dreams because I'm breaking that pattern. And so that's what I did. And I became a jazz singer at 51. I'm 59 this year. Okay. I don't work a day in my life because I live in alignment. Right. So going back to that story of seeing what was possible, that same night, I had a prediction from a woman who was psychic, told me she didn't want to be psychic, but she saw something she had to tell me. And she told me that I was a world-class healer on a global level. Well, here's the cool thing. I'm now a sound healer. I'm a jazz singer turned sound healer. My healing audios are on my membership site for the Love Your Vibe transformation. And so I am helping people to heal around the world. I've brought a bunch of beautiful light workers together who also share their own story, their own message, their own magic to help the world. And together we're flying in this formation. So I was told that night that I was meant to be a world-class healer. And the next week I went into work. My boss is gone mysteriously. I have no idea. This is the guy that coddled me. This is the guy that poached me from my last company.
The universe erased him.
Totally, exactly. Because I was meant to leave. The universe heard me say, I'm going to leave. And it brought it to me. Not in the most pleasant way. I competed for his job with a male colleague who was actually my work spouse. Super nice guy. We're actually friends now. But basically, there was a misunderstanding. He wanted the job. I wanted the job. There was a misunderstanding. Instead of fixing the misunderstanding, he took me down. My reputation got ruined in the company. I went from being up here to a piece of dirt. I couldn't believe that I was being treated that way. Because I had a kick me sign on my back, JC, I attracted another bully into my life. I used to be a professional cheerleader back in the day, and the queen bee in this group decided I didn't belong anymore. Well, guess what? She read that sign that I'm kickable. It said kick me. So she kicked me too. This is what happens. We inadvertently walk around with kick me signs on our back when we are victims. And when we decide to rip them off, we can become victors. Okay. So this is what had to happen to me. I would go through every moment of my depression, anxiety, and panic disorder and being bullied as an adult from those two people, because those two people were my angels of evolution. They forced me to evolve. They forced me to become who I truly am today.
Wait. I want to grab onto that. So, because I love any tool that equips us with the ability to, I call it in my book, I call it holographic vision, which means before you make a decision on what something is that's happening, take a walk around it and look at it from different perspectives.
Oh, I love that.
So she just said, now what I call those people flow burglars. When you're in flow and you're going in a direction, there's these certain people that are like, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to rise up. And by the way, everybody that's watching this live, and I'm seeing some comments. By the way, if you click on comments in the StreamYard, you can see some of the comments coming in.
Oh, really? Okay.
On the side, yeah.
Okay.
From various things. And then also, just to reset the room in Clubhouse, if you want to join us in Clubhouse after, we're going to have a little bit of a debrief. Find me at Makes Sense in Clubhouse, and then you can jump into the room. We'll have a little live interaction. But she just said, catch this, because I know that Tina is in here. She says she loves the concept of light worker, and she says my new motto. But she just said that these people that were flow burgers that were like kicking her, she first of all recognized she was allowing that, but she just called them angels of evolution. Just imagine if you were able right now, because you can write it down. Imagine if you started looking at those people that you think are happening to you, and then you start to shift and call them angels of evolution, which means that they're happening for you. I love it.
Yes. Oh my God. That's one of our teachings. Things are always happening for you, not to you. I love that you said that, JC. We didn't even talk about that. We are in so much freaking alignment, brother. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Flow burglars is definitely, a word, and I don't know if you coined it or not. I wasn't in my flow. They recognized that I wasn't in my flow.
Yeah, but you were making a move to it.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, I was eventually going to transform over to be in my flow, but they recognized that I was kickable, and that's why they kicked me. So you see, this is what people do. Unfortunately, we want to align with people that are in alignment. We tend to move away from those that are not in alignment. We tend to kick them. Like, honestly, if I see a victim, my heart goes out to them in compassion. But if they're trying to suck my energy, I say, like, sorry, unless you want to hire me to help you, I can't be in this energy.
Well,
And that sounds mean, but it's reality.
Victims can actually be flow burglars.
Yeah, that's true too. Because
if I'm drowning and I try to pull you out of the water.
Yeah, exactly. Well, these two people, they really are just your typical bully. They're the people that get power by taking away from others, and God bless them. They're doing the best they can from their state of consciousness. That's not who kind, heart-centered people are. That's who I serve. That's who I am. That's who you are. But here's the thing. The Love Your Vibe transformation is about helping heart-centered people to take back their power from flow burglars and everything else, to get into alignment, to become who they're truly meant to be. Because you know what? You have a purpose here to serve on earth. And unless you get into freaking alignment, you are not going to serve the world. The world will be less because you don't get into alignment. This is what breaks my heart about my first love too. Just like my dad, world-class musician. He actually traveled around the world with the Cranberries. Do you remember the band, the Cranberries? My favorite band from the 80s.
So when you have conversations like we had yesterday,
yeah,
what I love, and this is why she's here on this show today, is just as we're talking, we just had a lot of Me Too's going on. One of them, I don't know, and I love these comments here. Does anybody know who the Cranberries are? Because they just rock. It's like one of those groups that just doesn't really didn't go viral per se, but yeah, Kimberly Mosca says they were my favorite.
Yeah.
And if you like the Cranberries, I don't know if you remember the other band, the Sundays, are also awesome. But anyway, yeah, we
have to check them out. Yeah. Well, they were my favorite band in the 80s. Like the song Linger and Dreams, like two of my favorite songs. Anyway, my first love, I fell in love with him in grade 8. He was the most incredible world-class musician, because this kid could play the church organ, Ave Maria on the church organ. I remember because we went to Catholic school together, and he played Ave Maria on the church organ. We snuck out to go to the church, and he played it, and I cried. And I just fell in love with this guy. He was like me. We were both, artists, right? And so he never read a note of music, but he actually performed with the Cranberries all over the world. Dolores O'Riordan said his keys were impeccable. Okay. So my first love, who remained my friend till he died last year, he never recorded his own music. He had beautiful music that he never put into an album. When he heard that I did my first album, like a few years after going professional, I think it was at 54, I recorded my album at the Jazz Bistro. He flipped out. He said, "Elvira, you did what I couldn't do." And I'm like, "Well, why don't you fricking do it? You are a world-class musician." And he's like, his fear, he didn't want to be judged. He didn't want to overperform certain people in his circle. He had so much crap going on in his head.
That's called Gay Hendricks wrote an amazing book called The Big Leap, and he talks about our upper limits and hidden barriers.
Yes.
That one he calls outshining, where we're taught at a young age not to outshine others. Exactly.
So I do believe that my first love, my dear friend till he died last year, was stuck in this hell. And I couldn't help him because I wasn't his coach. But here's the thing. He died with his real music still in him. He died with cancer. He died with mental health stress disorder. He died. His marriage was not great. Same with my father. When men live out of alignment, their marriages aren't great. Their mental health struggles, their physical health struggles. They are living as imposters to please everybody else. Kind, heart-centered men can easily give away their power if they are talented and they're holding back. So here's my most recent program that I've just developed. It's called Unleash Your Miracle Life on Demand. And the MAN is in capitals, because I've always coached women, but I've been guided just recently that you need to coach one man per year on demand. It's a very high level program. If anybody is watching this and they resonate, reach out to me, because I know I'm here to serve people that don't want to be like my father and my first love and die with their real music still in them. Whatever that music is it a screenplay? Is it a book? Is it a movement? Is it an album? What is it that is in you that needs to come out and serve the world? Because to me, that's the most important thing, that we connect to our purpose and serve the world humbly yet fiercely. We're not here to play small. We are here to play humble, though, because it's not about us. It's not about our egos. And when I'm on stage, I'm not, look at me, I'm the singer, I'm all that in a bag of chips. I'm here sharing a song through my voice, which I hope helps you to heal, because that's what I've been doing for the last 8 years. I've been actually helping people heal from the stage. People will come up to me afterwards in tears going, oh my God, Elvira, I can't believe you did that song. It was so beautiful. It was my mother's favorite. And I didn't realize I was still grieving her. And now I've released and now I feel peace. And I'm like, cool. So honestly, I have no idea what I do when I'm on stage. I just allow spirit to use me. I'm a channel. And that's what I do as a sound healer as well. Spirit just uses me. I have no idea what I'm going to say till I say it. No idea what I sing till I sing it. But that's called being a channel of a higher power. And we can all do this if we get out of our own effing way. Fear and ego. I actually have a tagline. Do you mind if I sing it? Because it's kind of cute. It gets people to remember.
I went to your website.
You heard it already?
Well, I went to I did, but I went to your website and I printed up your about page and I saw that FN thing. That was so cute.
Did you? Yeah. Can I sing it? Okay. All right. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Get out of your own effing way. Your miracle life awaits. Yeah. So that is it. We are all in our own effing way. Fear and ego keeps us small and stuck, or too big for our britches, where we're imposters and we say, it's okay, I got this. But people that know that there's more, they will go on a spiritual journey. They will go on a path. And my beautiful light worker leaders and I are here to help people on that path. We're here to help them stay in alignment. We're here to help them truly channel whatever it is that's meant to come through them, because our purpose comes to us when we get out of our own effing way. Would you believe that, JC?
Oh yeah. But the whole funny thing about this idea of getting out of your own way, I work with thousands of coaches and all these clients, and I notice once someone learns that self-discovery, personal growth concept, that they're living below the line of responsibility by choice, and because when you identify that you're in your own way, then all of a sudden they start to go like this. They go, hey, I just got to get out of my own way. And what's interesting is there's that certain type of person that actually is now using that as a hall pass to get away from responsibility, because when the brain actually says, oh, all I need to do is get out of my own way, it actually makes you feel better about sucking, because now you have a reason for sucking, right? So there's one of the drama triangle principles is that we justify our situation. So I'll tell you a quick funny story about that, and just have a couple minutes, and I want to make sure everybody knows how to reach out to you. I had a friend that, and he was a coach, and just like anybody else, full of potential. Just anything that they want, once they decide to go forward and then commit to consistency long term, follow the systems, they're going to be great. And he said to me, he goes, I just really need to get out of my own way, and I just feel like I need a kick in the ass. So I turned towards him, and as hard as I could, I kicked him in the ass. Like I literally kicked him in the ass. And he was like, what the fuck did you do that for? And I said, well, that's what you said you needed. Do you feel better now? Right? So we had a laugh about it, but what that did for him is it made him realize he doesn't need anything. Yeah. All he needs to do, because if you listen to Elvira's story, you could interpret this idea that she got lucky and had this message come to her. Now, that's not what happened, because the message only comes to the messenger that is to the receiver that is ready. So if you listen to her story, she was kind of open and ready for something, which is why she noticed her friend that was kind of stepping into the light. And then mysteriously her boss leaves and this whole thing. So she was awake and open and listening to the universe, and the universe was saying, go baby, go. We always say, you always want to see if somebody's window of opportunity is open. Yours was open, and for whatever reason, probably motivated by not wanting to suck anymore, you said, I'm in, which is what anybody can do. So my philosophy about getting out of your own way is bypassing your analytical programmed mind. The moment you realize, and her story is very, very much connected to this, the moment you realize that most of the things that you see and perceive and most of the decisions you're making those with things that you were programmed and taught by your past, not you. So this idea is we need to step into the unknown, which is scary as hell, but it's where the goods are, right? But you can't make those decisions with that message that you were taught at 11 years old. You have to wipe it clean. So what I would love from you, and then let's transition into telling everybody how they can take action and meet with you, because you've got a big plan. What do you have to say in just a minute or two? What do you have to say to the person that gets all this? But right after this jacuzzi experience, this Elvira jacuzzi, right? They're going to go right back, get knocked in the teeth with their own fist, and start sucking again. What would you say to the person that's got the rumbling in their stomach like you had, and they want and they need, but they're about to go back and do nothing about it? What would you say to that person?
Oh, well, you know what? You know when you've had enough of sucking. You know when you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and that is motivation. So hearing my story, if you've recognized yourself in any of it, I invite you, actually, to your second point, I invite you to check out our Facebook group. It's the group of my light workers and I. We post different posts every day that hopefully inspire you, touch, move, and inspire you, and teach you a little bit more about the Love Your Vibe transformation. We'll put
that in the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. It's called Retreat and Recreate to Evolve and Elevate. So
and
retreat.
Go back after this into the live streams that we have.
Yeah, for sure. We can put that in there. Yeah, I'd love them to join us just to learn more and to learn more about what might be in it for them. Because really, you had an amazing gentleman on the last time who talked about neuroplasticity. Okay, so this is why I love being a coach. I was trained on one of the best schools on the planet, Coach U. I love them, and they taught me about neuroplasticity, and they taught me that when we start thinking in a different way and behaving in a different way, our brain actually rewires. It repatterns. And so you can go from being a crap magnet to being a miracle magnet. And we have a very beautiful way for you to do it in community with other heart-centered people, because this system is really I didn't mention this part. When I hit my rock bottom, I had done a lot of personal development over the years, but nothing worked at this point. Okay, so I had done, God bless him, Tony Robbins. He saved my life when I left the lab to become a pharmaceutical rep. One of my, both of my crappy, imposter careers. But I was helped by Tony Robbins at one point. I did this thing called Landmark Education. It had helped me at one point. I was Catholic for many years, and the Catholic Church teachings helped me. But when I hit my rock bottom, JC, nothing worked anymore. I wanted to die because I didn't want to live like that. And I had a 10-year-old kid at the time. Like, imagine how bad it must have gotten for me wanting to die. But essentially, I wasn't meant to die. I was meant to hit that place and say, give me something else, because nothing worked. That wasn't drugs like my dad. That wasn't therapy, because I'd gone through 2 years of therapy. God bless Chicken, because I know she's she's studying to do this. But I had 2 years of therapy when I was a new mom, and I had got over my mommy issues that way. I knew that therapy wasn't going to be it for me. I wanted something fast. And guess what? It was divinely gifted to me, divinely downloaded. So now this system is now being used to help others. So it helps people to go from here to here, from crap magnet to miracle magnet. And when you're in a container for 6 months with a group of people who are heart-centered, where you are safe, seen, celebrated, and supported, that is an incubator for greatness. You have no choice but to transform in those 6 months. And it's very affordable too, because it is a group program. Mine's a little more expensive because it's one-on-one. But the point is that you can access this very affordably, and you just have to say, I'm worth it. I am better than this. Whatever it is that you're going through, we talk about the IBTT moment. I'm better than this. And that is when you can transform, when you decide that you're better than this. So does that answer your question, JC?
I love it. I love it. And also when you make that decision, or for that matter, any decision about yourself and your future, I just recommend that you do not do that looking through the lens of the past, because sometimes we're told that we're not better enough. What a great time. This was even better than yesterday. So we'll put the link in there. What we're going to do now is we are going to end this, and then we're going to just open up and see if anybody in the Clubhouse room. We still have some people there. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
See if they want to ask any questions. What I'll do is I'll stop this recording, and you'll be here with me in case they want to ask a question. But Elvira, thank you so much. We'll definitely connect people through the notes, and then also we'll put the link in one of the live streams. But what a fun time. What a fun time.
This was great. Oh my gosh. I had so much fun. I've been interviewed on so many podcasts. You're the best, JC. Honestly, I'm not blowing smoke up your butt. And I want to acknowledge a few people because I'm just noticing the comments now. Aline Marie, I love you too, my love. And there's Scott watching, and there's Eleanor. And I forgive me if I've missed anybody else, but I just want to acknowledge these are people that are part of the Love Your Vibe transformation. And they're such beautiful souls. And I'm so grateful to you for allowing me to share this with the world. And if anybody resonates, please join Retreat and Recreate to Evolve and Elevate. We started this when COVID hit. We wanted to help people on their journeys because let's just say the last year has been tough on people. But if we can help them to rewire, repattern the negative and turn it into positive, like we've been sailing through this, this COVID time because we have an amazing mindset, a miracle mindset, my team and the people that have joined us in the group are also benefiting from it. And I have so much compassion for those who have struggled, but I'll be honest, we've done okay because our mindset is powerful and empowering. So join us if you resonate. So thank you. Thank you, JC.
I told you yesterday about one of our upcoming potential guests, and that's Tim Story. His book is called
Oprah's Coach.
Miracle Mindset is his book.
Oh my God. I didn't even know that. Yeah. wonderful time. Thanks so much. And thanks everybody that hung with us and watched this. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty in the beginning, which is why we started late, but we just so smoothly, thanks to her hubby and her tech hubby. He's probably standing somewhere in the background. Thanks so much. This was awesome. So just as a reminder, we've got a lot of fun stuff coming. So definitely subscribe to the Rise Up with Dragon podcast, where you'll get the podcast versions of this, and all my journals and my Rise Ups are there. Please give us a subscription and a review. That's how other people find out about this message. My hidden agenda is that I want more people to live free. Actually, it's not a hidden agenda anymore. I just told you. But follow me on Clubhouse at Makes Sense. And Awesome. We're going to do our little outro. And I just like to remind people, because I'm so proud of this, this outro was actually created by me. So enjoy the music, and we'll see you in Clubhouse in just a second. Thank you.